In the digital age, our lives are increasingly intertwined with the online world. Every click, every post, every online interaction leaves behind a trace, a digital footprint that maps our journey through the digital landscape. This footprint, while intangible, is far from ephemeral. It persists long after we log out, a testament to our digital presence. But what happens to this digital legacy when we are no longer here to manage it? This question takes on a particularly poignant dimension when we consider the realm of health data. In an era of fitness trackers, health apps, and online medical records, our physical well-being is intricately documented in the digital sphere. These digital records paint a comprehensive picture of our health, chronicling our every heartbeat, sleep cycle, and doctor's visit. They hold the potential to unlock medical breakthroughs and revolutionize healthcare as we know it. Yet this wealth of information raises profound ethical and practical questions. If our digital footprints persist after death, what becomes of the sensitive health data we entrust to these platforms and devices? As we delve into the complex world of digital legacies and health data, one fundamental question emerges. Who owns your health information after you're gone? Imagine a world where your Fitbit continues to track your steps. Your sleep app generates reports on your slumber patterns, and your online medical portal remains active, all despite your physical absence. This scenario, while unsettling, is not a scene from a science fiction novel, but a stark reality in our digitally connected world. The data we generate, particularly our health data, possesses an unsettling persistence, continuing to exist in the digital ether long after we are gone. This persistence is not merely a technical quirk, but a consequence of our evolving relationship with technology and the increasing digitization of our lives. We readily embrace devices and platforms that monitor our health, often without fully grasping the long-term implications of this data collection. The convenience and insights offered by these technologies often overshadow the less discussed aspect of data ownership, particularly in the event of our death. This digital afterlife of our health data presents a unique set of challenges. While our physical possessions are typically distributed according to wills and testaments, the fate of our digital assets, including health information, remains a legal and ethical gray area. The laws and regulations governing digital inheritance are still in their infancy, often lagging behind the rapid pace of technological advancements. This lack of clarity leaves a void, a space where our digital lives exist in a state of limbo, subject to the policies of tech companies and the interpretation of existing laws. This uncertainty underscores the need for greater awareness and proactive planning when it comes to our digital legacies. We must begin to think of our digital lives as an extension of ourselves, deserving of the same care and consideration we give to our physical belongings. This means engaging in conversations with loved ones, exploring available tools for digital estate planning, and advocating for clearer regulations regarding the ownership and management of our digital afterlife. The question of ownership, seemingly straightforward in the physical world, becomes remarkably complex in the digital realm, especially when dealing with something as personal as health data. The lines blur when we consider who has the right to access, control, and potentially benefit from this data after we are gone. Is it a matter of inheritance, passing to our next of kin like a family heirloom? Or does it fall under the purview of companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook that collected and stored this information, becoming another data point in their vast algorithms? The answer, unfortunately, is not always clear-cut. Existing laws and regulations often provide conflicting or inadequate guidance when it comes to digital inheritance. While some jurisdictions have begun to enact legislation addressing digital assets, these laws are often piecemeal and vary significantly in scope and enforcement. This lack of uniformity creates confusion and uncertainty, leaving individuals and families grappling with the complexities of managing digital legacies. Furthermore, the terms of service agreements we readily click through when signing up for online services often contain clauses that grant companies broad rights to our data even after our death. These agreements, often lengthy and filled with legal jargon, are rarely read thoroughly, leaving users unaware of the potential implications for their digital afterlife. This imbalance of power between individuals and tech companies highlights the need for greater transparency and user control over personal data. This exploration of digital legacies and health data is not meant to instill fear or discourage engagement with the digital world. Rather, it is a call to action, an urging for all of us to become more informed and proactive in shaping our digital afterlives. By understanding the issues at stake and taking steps to manage our digital footprints, we can ensure that our health data is handled with respect and sensitivity, even after we are no longer here to advocate for ourselves. Allow me to introduce you to Sarah, a dedicated nurse I had the privilege of working alongside. Sarah, a beacon of compassion and care, found herself grappling with an unexpected and deeply unsettling situation following the sudden passing of her husband, John. John, a technology enthusiast, embraced the world of digital health with open arms, meticulously tracking his every move and biometric. His smartphone, fitness tracker, and smartwatch became extensions of himself, faithfully recording his heart rate, sleep patterns, daily steps, and even his blood sugar levels. In the aftermath of John's passing, Sarah discovered that his digital presence remained, a constant reminder of his absence. The devices, still diligently performing their programmed tasks, continued to sync data, generating weekly summaries of John's non-existent activities. His sleep app, oblivious to the tragedy, issued reports on his restful nights, while his fitness tracker charted the phantom steps of a life extinguished. Each notification, a digital echo of a heartbeat stilled, served as a painful intrusion, a stark reminder of her loss amplified by the unfeeling nature of technology. Desperate to silence these haunting reminders, Sarah sought assistance from the companies behind these devices and platforms. She reached out to customer support, hoping for empathy and a swift resolution. However, she was met with a disheartening response, a bureaucratic wall of policies and procedures. The companies, bound by their terms of service and data protection protocols, demanded proof of death before they could even consider granting Sarah access to John's accounts, let alone deleting his data. The irony of the situation was not lost on Sarah. Here she was, a woman grappling with the raw, visceral pain of losing her partner, forced to navigate the cold, impersonal world of digital bureaucracy. The very technology that John had embraced in life, believing it would empower him, now seemed to hold his memory hostage, subjecting Sarah to a technological purgatory. This experience opened her eyes to a disconcerting reality. The digital afterlife is not some abstract concept, but a tangible and often distressing aspect of loss in the digital age. Sarah's experience serves as a poignant illustration of a broader phenomenon, the persistence of data in the digital age. Unlike physical possessions, which hold tangible value and are often passed down through generations, digital data exists in a nebulous realm, residing on servers and in the cloud, governed by terms of service agreements and data privacy laws. This intangible nature of data makes it both incredibly valuable and incredibly difficult to manage, especially after death. The issue extends far beyond fitness trackers and health apps. Every interaction we have with the digital world, from browsing the internet to using social media, generates data. This data, often collected and analyzed without our explicit awareness, forms a comprehensive digital portrait of our lives, our interests, our habits, our fears, and desires. While this information can be used for beneficial purposes, such as personalized recommendations or medical advancements, it also raises concerns about privacy and control. In life, we have some degree of control over the information we share and how it is used. We can choose to delete social media posts, adjust privacy settings, and even request that companies delete our data, though this is not always honored. However, in death, this control often evaporates. Our digital legacies, including our health data, become subject to the whims of technology companies, the interpretation of outdated laws, and the wishes of those we may or may not have entrusted with our digital affairs. This lack of control over our digital afterlife has far-reaching implications. Our health data, once used to monitor our well-being, could potentially be used for purposes we never consented to, training algorithms, developing marketing profiles, or even influencing insurance premiums for our descendants. While these scenarios may seem far-fetched, they highlight the need for greater awareness and proactive planning when it comes to our digital legacies. When it comes to health data, most people are familiar with the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, a U.S. law designed to protect the privacy and security of protected health information. HIPAA sets strict guidelines for how healthcare providers, health plans, and other covered entities must handle sensitive patient data, including medical records, billing information, and other health-related data. However, the protections offered by HIPAA are not all-encompassing, particularly when it comes to the burgeoning world of consumer health technologies. Wearable devices such as fitness trackers, smartwatches, and sleep monitors have become ubiquitous, tracking our every move and biometric. These devices generate a wealth of personal health data, often exceeding the scope of information covered by HIPAA. While some of this data may be considered protected health information, much of it falls outside the traditional definition of medical records. This regulatory gray area creates uncertainty and potential risks for consumers, as companies may not be subject to the same stringent privacy and security standards required of HIPAA-covered entities. Furthermore, the terms of service agreements for many consumer health technologies often grant companies broad rights to collect, use, and share user data, including health-related information. These agreements, often lengthy and filled with legal jargon, are rarely read thoroughly by users who may be unaware of the potential implications for their data, both in life and in death. This lack of transparency and user control over personal health data in the consumer technology space is a growing concern. As we increasingly rely on these devices to monitor our health and well-being, it is crucial that we understand the implications of this data collection and advocate for greater privacy protections. This includes demanding clear and concise terms of service agreements, exploring options for data deletion and control, and supporting legislation that strengthens consumer rights in the digital age. The question of data ownership, seemingly straightforward in the physical world, becomes remarkably complex in the digital realm, especially when dealing with something as personal as health data. The lines blur when we consider who has the right to access, control, and potentially benefit from this data after we are gone. Is it a matter of inheritance passing to our next of kin like a family heirloom? Or does it fall under the purview of the companies that collected and stored this information, becoming another data point in their vast algorithms? The answer, unfortunately, is not always clear-cut. Existing laws and regulations often provide conflicting or inadequate guidance when it comes to digital inheritance. While some jurisdictions have begun to enact legislation addressing digital assets, these laws are often piecemeal and vary significantly in scope and enforcement. This lack of uniformity creates confusion and uncertainty, leaving individuals and families grappling with the complexities of managing digital legacies. Furthermore, the terms of service agreements we readily click through when signing up for online services often contain clauses that grant companies broad rights to our data, even after our death. These agreements, often lengthy and filled with legal jargon, are rarely read thoroughly, leaving users unaware of the potential implications for their digital afterlife. This imbalance of power between individuals and tech companies highlights the need for greater transparency and user control over personal data. The stories of Sarah and countless others like her serve as a stark reminder that the digital afterlife is not some distant, abstract concept, but a present reality with tangible consequences. As we embrace the convenience and potential of digital health technologies, we must also grapple with the ethical and practical implications of our digital legacies. The question of who owns our health data after we are gone is not merely a legal or technical matter, but a profound question about privacy, autonomy, and the legacy we choose to leave behind in the digital age. Ghosts in the Machine, Posthumous Data in AI. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence in healthcare promises a future of personalized medicine, early disease detection, and potentially life-saving interventions. These sophisticated algorithms, capable of sifting through mountains of data to identify patterns and make predictions, rely on vast data sets to learn and improve. However, the seemingly insatiable appetite for data in the AI era has raised a host of ethical concerns, particularly when it comes to the use of posthumous data, information collected from individuals after their death. A 2022 paper published in Nature Digital Medicine sent shockwaves through the medical community when it revealed that nearly all major AI health models included posthumous data in their training sets. This revelation sparked a heated debate about the ethics of using such data, particularly without explicit consent from the deceased or their families. Proponents of using posthumous data argue that it is essential for advancing medical research and developing more effective treatments. They point out that this data, often stripped of identifying information, can provide valuable insights into disease progression, treatment outcomes, and potential risk factors. However, critics argue that the use of posthumous data, even in anonymized form, raises serious ethical concerns. They contend that individuals have a right to privacy, even in death, and that using their data without explicit consent violates this fundamental right. Furthermore, they argue that the inclusion of posthumous data in AI models could perpetuate existing biases in healthcare, particularly if the data used to train these algorithms is not representative of diverse populations. The debate over the use of posthumous data in AI highlights the complex ethical dilemmas we face in the digital age. As technology continues to advance at an unprecedented pace, we must grapple with the implications of this progress and ensure that it aligns with our values. The question of whether and how to use posthumous data in AI is not simply a technical or legal matter, but a profound ethical dilemma that demands careful consideration and ongoing dialogue. The DNA dilemma, 23andMe, and the afterlife of genes. The rise of direct-to-consumer genetic testing companies, such as 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, has opened up a world of possibilities for individuals seeking to learn more about their ancestry, health risks, and genetic predispositions. Millions of people have eagerly sent in their saliva samples, enticed by the promise of unlocking the secrets hidden within their DNA. However, the ease and affordability of genetic testing often overshadow the long-term implications of sharing such sensitive personal information, particularly when it comes to data ownership and control after death. 23andMe, one of the leading players in the genetic testing market, has amassed a vast database of genetic information from its millions of users. This treasure trove of data has proven to be incredibly valuable, not just for genealogical research, but also for medical research and drug development. In 2018, 23andMe announced a $300 million collaboration with pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline, granting the company access to 23andMe's vast genetic database to aid in drug discovery and development. While 23andMe emphasizes that it only shares data from users who have given explicit consent for their information to be used for research purposes, the company's policies regarding posthumous data have raised concerns. According to 23andMe's terms of service, users can designate a beneficiary to manage their account after their death. However, the company retains the right to use the deceased user's genetic data for research, even if the beneficiary objects. This policy highlights the complexities of data ownership in the digital age, particularly when it comes to something as personal and potentially revealing as our genetic information. The case of 23andMe serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that the decisions we make about our data today can have far-reaching consequences even after we are gone. It underscores the need for greater transparency and user control over genetic data, as well as a broader societal conversation about the ethical implications of using such data for research and commercial purposes. Beyond the grave, your wrist still speaks. The case of wearables. Wearable devices, such as fitness trackers, smartwatches, and sleep monitors, have become ubiquitous, tracking our every move and biometric. These devices generate a wealth of personal health data, often exceeding the scope of information covered by HIPAA. While some of this data may be considered PHI, much of it falls outside the traditional definition of medical records. This regulatory gray area creates uncertainty and potential risks for consumers, as companies may not be subject to the same stringent privacy and security standards required of HIPAA-covered entities. Consider the case of Apple Watch, a popular smartwatch that tracks a wide range of health metrics, including heart rate, sleep patterns, and even falls. While the device is marketed as a tool for promoting health and wellness, the data it collects can paint a surprisingly intimate portrait of our lives. Imagine, for instance, a scenario where an individual dies suddenly, and their Apple Watch continues to record their final moments. The device, oblivious to the tragedy, might capture a sudden drop in heart rate, a cessation of movement, or even the impact of a fall. This data, while potentially useful for medical professionals investigating the cause of death, could also be deeply personal and distressing for family members. It raises questions about who has the right to access such sensitive information and how it should be handled after death. Apple, to its credit, has implemented a legacy contact feature that allows users to designate a person to access their data after their death. However, this feature is not enabled by default, and many users may be unaware of its existence. This highlights the need for greater awareness and transparency from tech companies regarding the fate of our data after death. It also underscores the importance of having conversations with loved ones about our digital wishes, ensuring that our data is handled with sensitivity and respect, even after we are gone. Section 4, the price of progress. Balancing innovation with ethical considerations. The use of posthumous data in medical research, AI development, and other fields is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it holds immense potential for advancing scientific knowledge, developing life-saving treatments, and improving healthcare outcomes for future generations. The insights gleaned from analyzing large data sets, including those from deceased individuals, could lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of diseases, the development of more effective drugs, and the creation of more personalized approaches to medicine. On the other hand, the use of posthumous data raises profound ethical questions about privacy, consent, and the sanctity of personal information. When individuals are no longer alive to voice their opinions or exercise their right to privacy, how do we ensure that their data is used ethically and responsibly? How do we balance the potential benefits of using this data for the greater good with the need to respect the dignity and autonomy of those who are no longer with us? The answers to these questions are far from straightforward. They require careful consideration of the potential benefits and risks of using posthumous data, as well as a nuanced understanding of the ethical principles at stake. They demand a delicate balancing act between fostering innovation and protecting fundamental rights. One thing is clear: we cannot simply ignore the ethical dilemmas posed by the use of posthumous data. As technology continues to advance and blur the lines between life and death, in the digital realm, we must engage in a thoughtful and informed dialogue about the appropriate use of this data. We must strive to create a future where technological progress goes hand in hand with ethical responsibility. As Section 5, the unseen hand, how data brokers profit from the deceased. While the use of posthumous data in medical research and AI development raises significant ethical concerns, a less visible but equally concerning trend is emerging: the commodification of deceased individuals' data by data brokers. These companies, often operating in the shadows of the digital economy, specialize in collecting, aggregating, and selling personal information from a variety of sources, including public records, online activity, and even consumer purchases. For data brokers, death is not the end of a data profile, but merely a transition to a new category of consumer, the deceased consumer. With obituaries providing a wealth of personal information, including birth dates, addresses, and family connections, data brokers can easily identify and profile deceased individuals. This information, combined with data collected during the individual's lifetime, creates a comprehensive picture of their consumer habits, preferences, and even potential vulnerabilities. This data can then be packaged and sold to a variety of clients, including marketers, financial institutions, and even identity thieves. Marketers might use this information to target family members with products or services related to their loved one's passing, while financial institutions could use it to assess the creditworthiness of surviving family members. In the wrong hands, this data could also be used for more nefarious purposes, such as identity theft or fraud. The activities of data brokers highlight the need for greater transparency and regulation in the data brokerage industry. While some laws, such as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, provide some protection for consumer data, these laws often do not adequately address the unique challenges posed by the posthumous use of personal information. As we navigate the increasingly complex landscape of data privacy in the digital age, it is crucial that we demand greater accountability from those who collect, store, and sell our data, both in life and in death. Section 1. Guardians of the Digital Afterlife, Emerging Tools and Initiatives. The growing awareness surrounding the complexities of digital legacies and the ethical dilemmas of posthumous data use has spurred a wave of innovation, with individuals, organizations, and even tech companies exploring ways to empower individuals to manage their digital afterlives. These emerging tools and initiatives aim to bridge the gap between our physical and digital existences, offering a glimmer of hope in the often uncertain world of data ownership after death. These efforts range from comprehensive digital legacy platforms to specific features within existing services, each addressing different aspects of our digital afterlives. Some platforms focus on providing users with the tools to create detailed instructions for their digital assets, while others aim to simplify the process of transferring account ownership or deleting data after death. These innovations, while still in their early stages, represent a crucial step towards a more ethical and responsible approach to digital legacies. They offer individuals a degree of agency over their digital afterlives, allowing them to express their wishes and ensure that their data is handled according to their values even after they are gone. However, it is important to note that technological solutions alone are not enough. True progress in this realm requires a multi-pronged approach, involving not only the development of user-friendly tools, but also the enactment of clear and comprehensive legislation that protects the rights of individuals and their digital legacies. Among the emerging players in the digital legacy space, GoodTrust stands out for its comprehensive approach to managing our digital afterlives. Envisioned as a digital vault for all things digital, GoodTrust empowers individuals to take control of their online presence, both during their lifetime and after they are gone. The platform allows users to create a secure repository for their digital assets, including social media accounts, online banking credentials, email accounts, and even cryptocurrency wallets. Users can then specify how they want these assets to be managed after their death, such as transferring ownership to a designated beneficiary, deleting specific accounts, or memorializing certain profiles. GoodTrust goes beyond simply storing digital assets. It also offers a suite of tools to help users plan for their digital afterlives. The platform includes features for creating a digital will, writing letters to loved ones to be shared after death, and even recording video messages. This holistic approach sets GoodTrust apart, recognizing that digital legacies encompass not only practical matters like account access, but also the emotional aspects of preserving memories and sharing final wishes. By providing a user-friendly and secure platform for managing digital legacies, GoodTrust empowers individuals to take control of their digital afterlives, ensuring that their online presence reflects their values and wishes even after they are no longer here to manage it themselves. Recognizing the growing importance of digital legacies, tech giant Apple has taken steps to address the issue of data access after death within its ecosystem. The company's Legacy Contact feature, introduced in 2021, allows users to designate a trusted individual to access their Apple account data after they pass away. This feature provides a much-needed solution for families struggling to access photos, messages, and other personal data stored on loved ones' Apple devices. It offers a streamlined process for designated contacts to obtain access to the deceased user's account, requiring only a court order and a copy of the death certificate. While Apple's Legacy Contact feature represents a significant step in the right direction, it is important to note that it has limitations. Firstly, it only applies to data stored within the Apple ecosystem, leaving users' data on other platforms unaddressed. Secondly, the feature is not enabled by default, meaning users must proactively designate a legacy contact for it to take effect. Despite its limitations, Apple's Legacy Contact feature sets a positive precedent for other tech companies to follow. It acknowledges the importance of providing users with greater control over their data after death, and offers a practical solution for families navigating the often complex world of digital inheritance. Human API, a leading healthcare data platform, is taking a unique approach to empowering individuals to control their health information both during their lifetime and after death. The company's platform enables users to aggregate their health data from disparate sources, including electronic health records, wearable devices, and at-home testing kits, into a single, secure, and user-controlled dashboard. This consolidation of health data empowers users to have a more comprehensive view of their well-being and share their information with healthcare providers, researchers, or family members as they see fit. Human API's focus on user control extends to the realm of digital legacies, allowing users to designate beneficiaries for their health data after they are gone. This means that users can specify who has access to their health information after death, whether it be family members, medical researchers, or no one at all. This granular control over data sharing ensures that individuals' wishes regarding their health information are respected, even after they are no longer able to advocate for themselves. Human API's innovative approach to health data management highlights the importance of empowering users to control their information throughout their lives and beyond. By providing tools for data aggregation, secure sharing, and posthumous control, Human API is paving the way for a more ethical and user-centric approach to health data in the digital age. Section 5, Navigating the Legal Labyrinth, GDPR, and the Quest for Posthumous Data Protection. The legal landscape surrounding digital legacies and posthumous data use is complex and constantly evolving, with different jurisdictions taking varying approaches to this emerging area of law. One of the most comprehensive pieces of legislation in this realm is the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, which came into effect in 2018. While GDPR primarily focuses on protecting the personal data of living individuals, it also includes provisions that have implications for digital legacies. Article 17 of GDPR, known as the right to be forgotten, grants individuals the right to request that their personal data be deleted under certain circumstances. This right, while not absolute, can extend to data processed after an individual's death, particularly if the data is no longer necessary for the original purpose for which it was collected. Furthermore, GDPR's emphasis on data minimization and purpose limitation has implications for how companies handle the data of deceased individuals. Companies must be able to justify their continued processing of such data, demonstrating that it is necessary for a specific legitimate purpose. While GDPR provides a robust framework for data protection, its interpretation and enforcement in the context of digital legacies remain subject to ongoing debate and legal challenges. Nonetheless, it represents a significant step towards recognizing the importance of protecting the privacy and autonomy of individuals even after death. Section 6, the Wild West of data. The need for stronger protections in the United States. In contrast to the European Union's relatively comprehensive approach to data protection, the United States has a patchwork of federal and state laws that provide varying levels of protection for digital legacies. This fragmented legal landscape creates uncertainty and potential risks for individuals and families, as the fate of one's digital assets can depend on the specific laws of their state of residence and the terms of service of the companies holding their data. While some states have enacted legislation addressing digital assets, such as the Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act, or UFADA, these laws often have limitations and inconsistencies in their scope and application. Furthermore, the absence of a federal law specifically addressing digital legacies leaves a significant gap in protection, particularly when it comes to the posthumous use of personal data by data brokers and other third parties. The lack of comprehensive federal legislation in the United States stands in stark contrast to the EU's GDPR, which provides a more robust framework for data protection, including provisions relevant to digital legacies. This disparity highlights the need for stronger federal legislation in the United States that establishes clear guidelines for the management and protection of digital assets after death, ensuring that individuals' privacy and autonomy are respected even after they are gone. As the digital landscape continues to evolve and our lives become increasingly intertwined with the online world, the need for robust legal protections for digital legacies will only become more pressing. The United States must address this pressing issue by enacting comprehensive legislation that provides clear guidance, protects individual rights, and ensures that our digital afterlives are handled with the same care and respect we afford our physical legacies. Section 1. The Echo of Our Data, a Legacy Beyond Our Control. Imagine a future where your health data, meticulously collected by wearables and stored in online portals, outlives you by decades. This digital echo of your physical self, replete with the nuances of your health journey, takes on a life of its own, circulating through the veins of the digital world long after you've drawn your last breath. It's a future both fascinating and unsettling, raising profound questions about the legacy we unwittingly leave behind in the digital age. This legacy, unlike the tangible heirlooms we pass down through generations, exists in a nebulous realm, subject to the whims of technology companies, evolving algorithms, and ever-shifting data privacy laws. It's a legacy often created passively as we embrace the convenience of digital health technologies without fully grasping the long-term implications of this data accumulation. The question then arises, is this digital echo a faithful representation of who we were, or does it morph into something else entirely, shaped by the forces that control and manipulate data in the digital age? Do we relinquish control of our narratives in death, surrendering our stories to the algorithms and corporations that govern the digital afterlife? These questions strike at the heart of our discomfort with the persistence of health data after death. It's not just about privacy, it's about autonomy, about the right to define our own narratives, even in death. It's about ensuring that our digital echoes, however faint, reflect our values and wishes, rather than becoming mere commodities in the vast marketplace of data. Section 2, the algorithm knows. When AI learns more than we intend, the rapid proliferation of artificial intelligence in healthcare promises a future of personalized medicine, where algorithms analyze vast data sets to predict disease risk, recommend treatments, and even personalized drug dosages. This data-driven approach to healthcare, while holding immense potential, also presents a unique set of ethical challenges, particularly when considering the use of posthumous data in training these powerful algorithms. Imagine an AI system designed to detect early signs of Alzheimer's disease, trained on a massive data set of brain scans and cognitive test results, including data from deceased individuals. This system, capable of identifying subtle patterns and anomalies that might escape human detection, could revolutionize early diagnosis and intervention. Yet, it also raises unsettling questions about consent and the potential for unintended consequences. Did those individuals whose brain scans are now part of this life-saving algorithm consent to their data being used in this way? Did they have the opportunity to opt out, to express their wishes regarding the posthumous use of their most intimate health information? And what about the potential for the algorithm to reveal sensitive information about individuals or their families that they never intended to make public, such as genetic predispositions or familial health risks? These questions highlight the ethical tightrope we walk as we embrace the power of AI in healthcare. While the potential benefits are undeniable, we must proceed with caution, ensuring that our pursuit of innovation does not come at the cost of individual privacy, autonomy, and the right to control our own narratives, even in death. Section 3, the right to digital silence. Should death be digital too? In an age where our digital footprints seem almost indelible, where every online interaction leaves a trace, the concept of a right to digital silence emerges as a radical yet increasingly relevant notion. Just as we value the right to privacy and solitude in our physical lives, should we not also have the right to a digital death, a severance of our digital ties that mirrors the finality of our physical passing? This idea, while seemingly straightforward, challenges the very foundation of our data-driven society, where information is perpetually collected, analyzed, and monetized. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable reality that our digital lives, unlike our physical bodies, do not readily decompose, leaving behind a trail of data that can persist for decades, if not centuries. Should death, then, be the ultimate opt-out, the final act of digital disengagement? Should individuals have the right to stipulate that their digital presence, including their health data, be erased upon their death, allowing their digital selves to fade into the ether along with their physical forms? This notion of a digital death is not about erasing memories or denying the impact of our digital lives. It's about acknowledging the profound difference between the physical and digital realms, and respecting the right of individuals to choose how their digital legacies are shaped, even in their absence. Shaping Our Digital Echoes, a call to awareness and action. The issues surrounding posthumous data use are complex, multifaceted, and often deeply personal. There are no easy answers, no one-size-fits-all solutions. However, by fostering greater awareness, engaging in open dialogue, and advocating for individual rights, we can begin to shape a digital future that aligns with our values. This begins with individual action. We must educate ourselves about the digital services we use, exploring their policies regarding data retention, sharing, and posthumous access. We must initiate conversations with loved ones about our digital wishes, clarifying how we want our online presence managed after we are gone. Beyond individual actions, we must demand greater transparency and accountability from the tech companies that hold our data. We must push for legislation that strengthens data privacy protections, ensuring that individuals have greater control over their data, both in life and in death. The future of our digital afterlives is not preordained. It's a future we are actively shaping with every click, every post, every interaction in the digital realm. By embracing a proactive and informed approach, we can ensure that our digital legacies reflect our values, respect our autonomy, and contribute to a digital future that prioritizes human dignity and the right to digital silence. Our digital afterlives, a tapestry of choices. As we've journeyed through the intricate landscape of digital legacies and the persistent presence of health data beyond the veil of life, one resounding truth emerges. Our digital afterlives are not predetermined destinies, but rather tapestries woven from the threads of our choices, our values, and our willingness to engage with the profound implications of our increasingly digital existence. The decisions we make today, from the devices we wear to the platforms we embrace, to the conversations we have with loved ones, will reverberate far beyond our physical lifespans, shaping the contours of our digital echoes for years to come. The stories we've encountered, from Sarah's poignant struggle to silence her husband's digital ghost, to the ethical dilemmas posed by the use of posthumous data in AI, serve as stark reminders that the digital afterlife is not some distant, abstract concept, but a tangible reality with far-reaching consequences. We are all, in a sense, pioneers navigating this uncharted territory, grappling with questions that previous generations could scarcely have imagined. Yet, amidst the uncertainty and complexity, a glimmer of hope emerges. The realization that we are not passive bystanders in this digital revolution, but active participants with the power to shape its trajectory. The tools and initiatives emerging in the realm of digital legacy planning, from platforms like Good Trust to features like Apple's Legacy Contact, empower us to take control of our digital afterlives, to ensure that our online presence reflects our values and wishes long after we are gone. They provide a means to extend our agency beyond the confines of our physical existence, to orchestrate our digital departures with the same care and consideration we afford our physical estates. However, technology alone cannot fully address the ethical dilemmas posed by the persistence of health data after death. It requires a fundamental shift in our collective consciousness, a recognition that our digital lives are not separate entities, but extensions of our very selves, deserving of the same respect, dignity, and autonomy we afford our physical beings. Beyond consent, a call for ethical data stewardship. The traditional notion of consent, often reduced to a mere checkbox on a lengthy terms of service agreement, proves woefully inadequate in the face of our evolving relationship with data. How can we truly consent to the use of our data after death when the very nature of death, with its unknowns and uncertainties, defies our ability to fully comprehend the implications of such consent? This is where the concept of ethical data stewardship becomes paramount. It requires a shift from a transactional view of data, where consent is the primary ethical benchmark, to a more holistic and relational approach that recognizes the inherent value and sensitivity of personal information, particularly health data, and the enduring obligations we owe to individuals even after they are gone. This means going beyond the bare minimum of legal compliance and engaging in proactive dialogue with users about the long-term implications of data collection, storage, and potential use. It means embracing transparency as a core value, clearly communicating data practices in accessible language, and providing individuals with meaningful choices about how their data is used, both during their lifetime and after death. Ethical data stewardship also demands a commitment to ongoing review and adaptation. As technology continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace, so too must our ethical frameworks for navigating the digital landscape. We must remain vigilant, questioning assumptions, challenging norms, and constantly seeking ways to align our actions with our values in a world where the lines between life, death, and data are becoming increasingly blurred. Reclaiming our digital narratives, a legacy of intention. In a world awash in data, where algorithms strive to predict our every move and corporations seek to monetize our every click, the act of reclaiming our digital narratives takes on a profound significance. It's about asserting our right to digital self-determination, to ensure that our digital legacies reflect our values, our intentions, and the essence of who we were, rather than becoming mere data points in a vast and impersonal digital ecosystem. This reclamation begins with awareness, with educating ourselves about the digital traces we leave behind and the potential implications for our legacies. It involves engaging in open and honest conversations with loved ones about our digital wishes, expressing our preferences for how we want our online presence managed after we are gone. It also means demanding greater transparency and accountability from the tech companies that hold our data, pushing for policies that prioritize user control, data minimization, and the right to digital silence. We must advocate for a future where death is not just a legal status, but also a digital watershed, a point at which individuals have the right to sever their digital ties and allow their digital selves to fade into the ether if they so choose. The digital afterlife, once a realm of speculation and uncertainty, is rapidly becoming our shared reality. It's a reality fraught with ethical dilemmas, legal complexities, and profound philosophical questions. Yet, amidst these challenges lies an opportunity to shape this digital frontier with intention, to ensure that our digital legacies reflect the best of who we were and contribute to a digital future that honors our values, respects our autonomy, and ultimately serves humanity, both in life and in death.